Okay, here's a quick video on, I'm halfway through re-pinching the cylinder sleeve on my Hot Bodies 26 motor. Here's the cylinder sleeve pinching tool I used. You just bolt that up around the outside of the sleeve and you bolt it down, pinch it and turn it and pinch it. And what ends up happening, instead of re-sleeving, new sleeve and new piston, you end up with a tight piston inside of a sleeve. What I've used all this copper stuff is Copper-Tech grease, which I'm using to lubricate it while I run the piston back in. Okay, now this motor had absolutely zero compression. It was easy to turn over by hand even with the head on. I've got the head off. I've got these screws on there to hold the sleeve in place while I do this. The crankcase is filled with grease as well, and continuous sprays of WD-40. It's got a roto start on it, so what I do is simply put the roto start in, hold my hand around the base of the block so I can feel the temperature. Now, you simply hear how it's quite tight. It's quite tight already. I think I over pinched it slightly because it's a little bit too tight. But I do this until I can feel warmth in the block, and that tells me that things are starting to match up and line up. So now that's only a short run. Usually I'll do that for about 40 to 50 seconds, and it is enabling the piston and sleeve to be run in before I actually start the motor. So it's still quite tight at the top, but it's quite hard to tell. But inside there, because of the grease, I can tell that evenly all around the cylinder and piston is matched perfectly. There's no high or low spots, and it's giving me a really nice bore. Okay, so you can, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's got quite nice suction, but it's still a bit tight to turn over by hand. So I'll continue to do this until it freely spins by hand. Now this sleeve tool landed from overseas was only about $30. Now I can re-pinch the sleeve many times with this tool instead of buying a new sleeve and piston, which is for this, which is a Hot Bodies twin. The motor's missing out of here. That's where the second motor belongs. But you can't buy parts for those anymore. I was lucky enough to order some piston and sleeve kits, but I've got the last 3 that I could find in the world. So they're on their way as well. But in the meantime, I can simply re-pinch the sleeve, and until the piston wears up, basically I can continue doing that until the piston's completely worn and useless. So that's just a quick video on the re-sleeving process. Now I'll do another video tomorrow where I re-sleeve or re-pinch that sleeve, because that motor's low on compression as well. This motor wouldn't run when I first got the truck. The other motor does run. So some very simple tools, and it's taken probably 2 or 3 hours worth of work to get it to where it is now, but it's well worth doing considering that you can't buy those pistons and sleeves anywhere. So I'll update on further progress, and we'll show you a video on the first part of everything tomorrow. Alright, thanks very much. Hit like and subscribe, and ask away if you've got any questions.